Welcome. So in this lesson, we're going to begin talking about the language of polynomials, and this is exercise 6a. So a polynomial function is a function that can be written in the form this right here. Now this looks awfully complicated, so let's give an example just to help us understand what it is. So if we come up here for a second, a polynomial, an example of one, could be this. It could be 7x raised to the 4 plus 2x cubed plus x plus 5. That could be a polynomial right there. That's an example of a polynomial. So let's now zoom out here and just kind of interpret what they've given us here. So as you can see here, this a of n and this a n minus 1, these are all of our coefficients. And then, of course, they're being raised. Our x is being raised to a certain number each time. Let's now read through what each of these are saying. So it says, where n is a natural number, or 0, and the coefficients a0 all the way to a n minus 1 are real numbers where a of n cannot be equal to 0. The number 0 is called the zero polynomial. Okay, now, the important part now. The leading term is the term with the biggest index number, so the biggest power. So in this example here, this would be our leading term because it has the biggest index of 4, and that's bigger than 3 or 1, so that is why we call it the leading term. So the leading term of a polynomial is the term with the highest index among those terms with a non-zero coefficient. Next is the word degree. The degree of the polynomial is the index n of the leading term. So for our example here, we would say that this polynomial is a 4th degree because the index of the leading term is 4, so it's a 4th degree. Let's now read our next one. It says, a monic polynomial is a polynomial whose leading term has a coefficient of 1. So let me give you an example of a monic polynomial. Let's come here. So our leading term is going to have a coefficient of 1. So that means, it might be x to the 5 plus 7x squared plus 2. And as you can see, if we zoom out here for a second, actually, this is our leading term, right? Because it has the highest index number. And you can see that has a coefficient of 1. There's an invisible 1 there, right? We don't put it in, but there's an invisible 1 there. So we call this a monic. Mono means 1. So this is a monic polynomial because the leading term has a coefficient of 1. And then the last thing here is the constant term is the term of index 0. This is the term not involving 1. So just to break that down for us, if we come back to our example here, we know what a constant term is. This is our constant term. And would you agree, if we were to put an x here, it would be x to raise to the 0, because we know that's the same as 2 times 1. So that's why it speaks of the constant term as having a term of index 0. Term of index 0, the term is not involving x. That's what it's kind of saying to us there. All right, that seems awfully complicated saying all of that, but at the end of the day, you just need to know that a polynomial looks like this. It looks like this. These are examples of polynomials. And we're now going to go through some examples when we're dealing with polynomials. And look, here is a polynomial here. Here is another one there. We're going to be dealing with them and seeing how we go. All right, I'll see you in the next one.